If your traffic is down, if your course sales are flat, if it just feels like your content isn't landing the way it used to, you're not alone and you're not crazy. The content marketing game has changed what used to work, grinding out SEO, posts, chasing the algorithms, building massive audiences. It's not working anymore. But here's the good news. The new rules don't require you to work harder. In fact, I think they favor creators who go deeper instead of wider, who focus less on reach and more on relationship. So today, I'm going to show you what's working right now and how to thrive in this new era of content creation. So one of the privileges I have of coaching and mentoring business owners is I get to ask them questions. I also get to answer their questions, and their questions to actually tell me a lot more than my questions to them. The things they bring to me, the challenges they bring to me, the areas they're getting stuck reveal a lot about what's going on, not just in their business, but around the industry that we're in. If you're in the online space, the creator economy, if you're a podcaster, if you're a YouTuber, if you're a blogger, if you're a coach, if you sell courses or memberships or any kind of program online, whatever you want to call that industry, because the name keeps changing for whatever we're called, I get insight into the entire industry because I work with a lot of clients in very different niches of the industry, accountants, musicians, back pain specialists, motorcycle mechanics, foreign language teachers. Like, these are all my clients, but they all are creating content on the internet to grow their business. And so I get to see the patterns. So the last 6 months have been interesting. 2025 has been an interesting start to the year. And when I started to hear one client say, hey, my sales are down, okay, that could just be you. It could be a variety of reasons. When I heard another client say, my course sales are down, another one say it, another one say it. I'm running the same promos I've run in the past, but they're not converting the way they used to. I'm doing some of my best content ever, content that I know would have performed incredibly well 12 months ago, but nobody's watching it or clicking over into my lead magnets or my funnels. What's going on? Am I crazy? What am I doing wrong? The benefit of coaching all of these entrepreneurs, and then I have my inner circle members and all of the group coaching I do, is I get a pulse without even trying on what's happening, as opposed to my siloed view or one client siloed view. And I started to notice, dude, there's something going on here. Like, this is across industries in terms of the niche that you teach in or what your topic is. And so while I don't think that we can blame shifts in the economy or shifts in an industry for where our business is, I certainly think there's enough of a pattern that it's worth talking about at length here today. And maybe you felt this, especially if you've been in the business for 5 to 10 years, where you know what your business can do and you know your numbers and you're just not getting those numbers. Let's talk about it, because I think something has changed. So let's unpack the old way. Let's talk about what's changed, and then let's talk about the new way, what's working right now, what I'm doing in my business and what I'm coaching my clients to do actively, okay? The old way of content marketing, and I can say old way because I've been doing this since 2009. So it's almost 16 years to the month that I started blogging, and then 2 months later, posting on YouTube. So I have lived through a decade and a half, and there's been multiple eras within that. So I'm speaking from experience, the old way, but even I think old up through the pandemic. I think 2020 to 2021, 2022, I think whatever you called that pre-pandemic up through those couple of years post-pandemic, I'm lumping all that into the old way. I know there's different sort of seasons and phases within that, but I'm going to lump it all together for the sake of simplicity. Old way was SEO driven. What is SEO? Search engine optimization. This is what I've been teaching for years, even though I'm not an SEO genius or SEO nerd or data analyst. Understanding the basics of search was so important for a content creator. And I still think it is to a certain degree, but the idea was you write a blog post, you create a YouTube with a title, or you have a podcast with a title that is something that people are searching for, because they're typing into the search engines, aka Google, and they're typing into YouTube, which is also Google, asking a question, looking for help with something. And if your content is titled that, you would show up when they searched. Now, that is still true, but it's not nearly as powerful as it once was. Before the last couple of years, that was it. I mean, search engine optimization, what you title your content, what language you put in your content, the first few seconds of your video, because it scrubs the transcript. All of that mattered so much. And the only other way to show up was to run ads to show up in Google searches and YouTube searches. But that was it. It's like, pay for it or just dial in your SEO. And what that has done is conditioned me and everyone else that creates content to think about what's being searched in the sense of purely showing up in search results, which makes sense and it's strategic. The problem is the algorithm keeps changing and has changed yet again in terms of YouTube or Google. And so what it used to show up on, search results doesn't show up anymore. You have to figure out, well, what are they paying attention to? Is it the hashtags? Is it the subject line? Is it the description in the YouTube video? Like, what matters more? That was the game for so long. On top of that, so SEO, search, that's how you create your content. Number two was just volume-based content. Like, the more content, the more traffic you'll get, which leads to the more sales. I mean, it was a giant funnel, and that's the shape, and that makes sense. Like, the wide part of the funnel is your free content. If you're reaching 1,000 people a month with your free content and you're making 5 sales of your $1,000 thing, well, then if you could 10x the eyeballs on your content and get 10,000 people to see your content every month, you could get 10 times the sales in theory if they opt into your funnel. The same percentage converts to your paid thing. You, instead of selling 5 copies of your $1,000 thing, you would sell 50 copies of your $1,000 thing. And so it was very simple math. It's just like increase the top size of the funnel, more people seeing you, the bottom of the funnel, the sales you make will increase as well. So it became a simple game of create more content. If you've got content that's working, create more of it so you can speed up how much more traffic you can get, which leads to more sales. This led to number 3, building wide audiences. How can I get as many followers? How can I get as many subscribers as possible? This led to very wide content. A good example of someone who did this and who last year changed his strategy was Alex Hormozi. Alex Hormozi had this very honest post last year saying he's no longer doing broad-based content for the masses, where he was talking about fitness and he was talking about business and he was talking about relationship with his wife and like your business partner. He's talking about money and he's talking about mental toughness. He was talking about all these different things. He realized even though I grew, I got all that. I got more followers and subscribers. It did not lead to more sales. So he decided he's going to go back to just focusing on business content. So all of this is what we ended up doing. We did exactly what Alex was doing, make as much wide content as possible to reach as many people as possible to increase our followers and subscribers. What I've been doing and teaching for years, sell low ticket or mid-tier products to the masses. The way my product stack and offer stack has been set up for years, and what I've taught for years is you're going to have a few different offers at a few different price points. For simplicity's sake, let's say you have 3 offers, a low ticket, a mid-ticket, and a high ticket. The way I had run my business, again, this is my second business. I've done it twice now in 2 different niches, but starting in 2009 all the way through the last couple of years, it's been like, you're gonna make a lot of money selling a ton of your low ticket to mid ticket thing, and there's gonna be a small number of people that buy your high ticket thing. That's gonna be probably the highest percentage per customer of revenue. It's gonna be a huge way to scale your business, but like you're really optimizing your brand around how can I get as many people into my low ticket to mid ticket thing. You might call these core products, right? So that was always the game. There was such an emphasis on we'll give as much away for free as possible, but really I need you to buy something and I need you to buy something soon, which is not a bad thing. And we'll talk about that. And I don't know if that's completely changed, but it was like give as much away as possible for free, which I'm a huge believer in, and then invite people into your sort of ascension ladder with the low ticket to mid ticket, maybe to high ticket. So what this looked like was people being forced to make as much content as possible, chase the algorithm, and make sure they're showing up in search. And if you like that game, and if you got good at that game, you could win at that game. I have, again, friends and clients who dominate and have dominated for a decade, maybe longer, on some of these platforms for their area, and now they're not getting as many views, they're not getting as many sales. They're only better than they were 5 years ago. What's changing? Okay, here's what's changed and what I think, why I don't think it's working anymore. Platforms are, and I don't love this word, oversaturated. For lack of a better term, they're oversaturated. I think the more people on the platform, the more potential customers you have. We'll get into that in a minute. But the problem with oversaturation on a platform like an Instagram or a YouTube is that reach goes down. I think YouTube's a bit of an anomaly in that they're such a powerful program or platform that reach can still be incredibly high because all of the content lives forever. It doesn't disappear. It doesn't get buried into feeds. It's really, they've got a great suggestion engine and a great search engine component of it that still actually work incredibly well. But even there, reach is down because these platforms are oversaturated. Then you've got just human nature changing. Attention is getting fragmented. Short form content has literally killed our attention span. It's killing the concept of depth. But ironically, the pendulum is swinging. We'll get to that in a minute. Buyers, this is what I think has been the biggest shift post-COVID. Buyers are overwhelmed by content. COVID was amazing for all of us that sold courses and memberships online because all of a sudden you had everybody on the internet all the time because they couldn't go to work, they couldn't go to school, they couldn't leave their houses, they were just online more. So you had more attention than ever. And there became this awareness of the online course and online coaching space that wasn't there for a lot of the masses, even though many of us have been doing this 15 years before COVID, 10 years before COVID. You also had people rethinking their lives. Is this what I really want to be doing? And so is this something a moment in time I could take to reinvent myself, learn something new, whether it's a hobby or for a vocation? And both of those created surges in course and content sales for all of us. And it was exciting and it was fun and it was easy. I mean, again, I've said it before, but if you made a lot of money in 2020, 21, and 22, it may not be because you've got great marketing. It might just be because you were living in probably the greatest time in the history of the world to sell courses. But that's shifted. People don't want more content. They're overwhelmed by content. There's so much great content, free and paid. They really want a couple of things. They want purpose. They want clarity. They want speed of results. And they ultimately just still want results. So that hasn't gone away. That'll never go away. And then I think the big shift here that's changed is that people no longer want a guru to learn from that's high and mighty and great. They want a guide. I think people have always wanted a guide, and I've been saying this for probably 10 years now, that the era of the guru was over, I think, in the 90s. But I think it's definitely dead now. I think what we're looking for and where you're going to see a lot of leverage, as we'll get into this right now, is being the guide. The guru is like I came down from the mountain and let me tell all you people how to have enlightenment. It's almost like the preacher preaching to the stadium full of people. It's like a revival. So I picture like a Billy Graham or Jesus on the mountaintop with the 5,000, which is really 15 to 20,000 people when you had women and children, right? Like the one to masses. I think that era for us content creators is over. And think of yourself less as like, I'm coming down to show the masses how this works, and think of it more of Obi-Wan Kenobi sitting with Luke Skywalker, or Yoda sitting with Luke Skywalker, and being that mentor, that guide, like, hey, here's how you become a Jedi, right? It's sitting, it's conversations, sometimes traveling with, right? If you don't like Star Wars, it's Harry Potter, right? It's Dumbledore having those conversations with Harry, guiding him along his journey. Here's what to do. It's instilling belief, giving him wisdom, giving him ideas, right? The guide relationship. Every good story, and this is one of the things I love about Donald Miller's building a story brand. I had Donald on the podcast a while ago. His framework involves a guide, and this is for sales copy and selling things, but the guide is really the moneymaker in today's economy. Like, if you can be someone's guide, like, hey, I'm going to come alongside you, not preach down at you, but come alongside you and take you somewhere. That's the moneymaker. So that's the shift as well. So let's get into that. What is the new way that's actually working? And by say actually working, here's what's working for my business, and here's what I'm actively coaching and mentoring my clients who are paying me a lot of money. Like, they're like, Graham, help me. What's working? And I'm like, hey, we're in a shift right now. So a lot of them are trying to shift their whole business so that they win and they stay in this game and they survive this shift. So here's the new way. I alluded to this: build deep instead of wide. I'm not saying you want as small of an audience as possible. Deep doesn't mean small, but it means you really don't care about it being big or wide. If it grows big and if it grows wide and you have more periphery people seeing what you're doing, sure, great, they can come along too, but your focus is on a smaller, more loyal, more engaged audience. Think of it as your tribe, right? I love that language. Like, what's your tribe of people, right? Not your continent of millions of people, but your tribe. Like, do you have I think it's Stephen Kelly, the famous article he wrote years ago, 1,000 True Fans. The idea was true back then, and I think it's even more true now, was that you can make a great living if you just have 1,000 loyal fans. Because if you had 1,000 people that just loved everything you do, and they each spend $100 with you every year, you'd make $100,000 a year. If you had 1,000 true fans that spent $1,000 with you every year to be a part of one of your programs, you'd make $1 million a year off of 1,000 people. And that's very doable if you embrace this concept. It's so hard because we're conditioned to want to grow, and we're looking at subscriber count and follower count, myself included. And think about this. This channel, as of this taping, is almost 1/10 the size of my first business's channel, The Recording Revolution. So I'm not only comparing myself to other people, I'm comparing myself to myself. Like, when they say only compare yourself to yourself, I'm like, that's not good advice for me, because my first channel is 10 times the number of subscribers, right? But it was a different era, and it's a different niche, right? It was smaller. I was a bigger fish in a smaller pond. Now I'm a smaller fish in a bigger pond. So there's a lot of variations, but I also think the era we're in is different. I don't even know if I would grow that size of a channel today, but I could still grow that size of a business in terms of revenue today. So deep instead of wide. So the idea here, my friend, is to serve the few, but serve them deeply. Again, I'm not saying serve as few people as possible. I'm saying focus on depth of service, massive transformation, instead of superficially reaching a lot of people. Your goal isn't to touch as many people. The goal is to really powerfully transform the people you do touch. And that's going to create more testimonials, more leverage, more growth. So what does this practically mean? Okay, here's practically what this means for your business. Think of your free stuff and your paid stuff, okay? Your free content and your paid offers. The goal of your free content, whether it's YouTube or your podcast or your blogs or your social media stuff, your microblogging, whatever you want to call it. The goal of your free stuff is and always has been to build trust. I have a whole video I did on why sales funnels are out. It's all about trust funnels. I've been alluding to this for months now. The goal isn't to get them to buy something in your video. And I know that sounds crazy because, well, Graham, isn't that the point? Isn't that what content marketing is? This is a nuance. The goal isn't to make a piece of content so that they buy something. The goal is to make a piece of content that builds trust with your ideal avatar, the ideal prospect, the ideal potential client. The great thing about building a business this way is that you can build trust that's so deep that you don't have to convince them to go into a funnel or go through a bunch of steps. When they're ready, but they've already decided that you're the person they trust in this industry. You're the person that they're selecting as their guide in this industry. I think of it a lot as giving a keynote. I love doing public speaking. I'm doing more and more of it. If you've never done it, you at least understand the concept. If I get on a stage in front of 500 people at a real estate conference and I get 60 minutes of their time, I tell stories, I teach frameworks, I unlock new ideas for them, I give them some actionable takeaways and steps. And let's say at the end of that keynote, I make an invitation to work with me, to go deeper, to hire me as their coach, to join one of my programs. And let's say nobody buys that day, right? Was that a waste of my time? Even if I didn't get paid, was that a waste of my time? No, because I just built the most trust you could build with anybody in any way possible. I spent an hour with 500 people physically in the room where they had to watch me and listen to me. There's no way that 10% of those people, so if I had 500 people, 50 people, there's no way that 50 of those people wouldn't want to work with me. if it was the right audience for me, if I'm speaking in the right room, let's say, right? In that case, realtors, they're all entrepreneurs. If they're like, dude, I'm hustling, I'm scrambling, I'm not making enough money. And I teach them, hey, there's a way that we can scale your business. We could probably 2x to 10x your business, and you could work half the amount of hours and I make them an offer. There's no way that 10% of those people don't want to take me up on that offer. They already know that I'm the guy for them. Whether they sign up that day or next month or next year, it almost doesn't matter. I have gotten the most important currency, which is their trust. I don't even have to technically make an offer. They'll come find me, right? Like, I think I mentioned this on a recent episode, but this happened. I spoke at a breakout session at an event in front of 30 people. And I didn't even make a pitch because I didn't even know I was speaking. My buddy was running the event, asked if I would do a breakout session on what's working in digital marketing right now. I talked for 10 minutes. I didn't even prepare. I just quickly put together some ideas on my phone and spoke for 10 minutes, answered 20 minutes of questions. And out of that room of 30, one guy came up to me and was like, bro, where have you been all my life? Do you do coaching? I was like, yeah, man. Like, but we couldn't talk that day. I was like, let's jump on a call. I'll hear more about where you're struggling. I ended up offering him a $100,000 offer for coaching, and he said yes. Why? Because I spent 10 minutes with 30 people. It seems like a giant waste of time. If you had only 30 people watching your 10-minute video, you would feel like that was a waste of time. Like, I only got 30 views on my 10-minute video. But what if it was the right 30 people? And what if one of them was like, she's my girl. I need to go deeper with her. How can I work with her? And what if you made her a premium offer? Those 30 views could turn into $30,000, right? So those 10 minutes for me in front of 30 people turned into $100,000. Price doesn't matter, but the point is it's effective. So I like that visual because that's what our content is doing. The whole goal of your content is to build trust. But then if they want true transformation, well, that's going to cost some money. So you build trust, but you sell transformation. How can you give transformation? Yes, you can still sell low ticket. Yes, you can still sell mid ticket. There's a place for all of that. Your offer stack, if you've built a full business, will likely include low ticket. I like to call them core products. Like, these are core products. They're easy for people to say yes to. This could be a book. This could be a simple course that gets them started. This could be a ticket to your paid event, like a challenge or a paid masterclass, right? Core product. That makes them a buyer. That lets them take the next step of like, okay, let me invest a little bit in myself and buy something of Graham's. But really, the money comes from your premium value offers, your high ticket offers, and continuity programs, especially if you put those things together, meaning recurring revenue, right? So the game for you and I moving forward is to stop thinking, how can I sell thousands of this $100 to $1,000 thing, and think, how can I sell dozens of this $10,000 thing, whatever your number is. You need fewer people. You're allowed to then build the content for free that you want to build, to say the things you want to say, to speak deeply to a specific type of person, so you can build their trust without having to be trendy, without having to go against your morals or your ethics or your beliefs. You can speak about what you truly believe in, knowing that the right people are going to say, she's my guide, he's my guide. What's the next step? And then when you bring them into your world of potential offers, the best way you can bring them transformation is that they not only invest in you as their coach and guide, but they invest in themselves. The fee that you charge for your high ticket offer, and I've been talking about high ticket a lot these last few weeks, but the fee that you charge is more for them than it is for you. Yeah, you get to benefit, and I think it's a more scalable way to grow a more effortless business, but you get better clients and you give them better transformation when they're invested. And I know this because I have had coffee with so many people that wanted my coaching and advice, that knew me through somebody, was a friend of a friend, knew me from church, knew me from wherever. And I agreed to sit down and have coffee with them and talk about their business. And if you've ever had coffee with me and you're thinking I'm talking about you, it's probably not you. But it certainly has been some people. So this is not always, but I love sitting down with people and helping when I can. But when it's a free coffee, like, hey, can I pick your brain kind of conversation? More often than not, like 80% of the time, those people never do a single thing that we talk about that I encourage them to do. Never. And yet, my clients that pay me $50,000, $100,000, $250,000, I tell them to do the same things. They do it. They do almost everything I say. Not that they need to do everything I say. I'm not them. But why do they take massive action? Because they spent a lot of money. They invested a lot of money, so they've skin in the game. Like, it matters to them what I say, and it matters to them what they do with it. I do the same thing. I hire coaches not only to learn, but to get skin in the game. I think I mentioned last week, I started working with one of my new mentors, Myron Golden, who's brilliant. I've been wanting to work with Myron for 2 years. I just haven't had the time to justify the investment, because I knew if I invested what he charges, and it's a lot, I knew it would be worth it, but I knew I'd want to implement everything he told me to implement. And I was writing a book 2 years ago, and then I was launching that book last year and doing a lot of other things. And I knew that this would be the year that I could finally do that. And would you believe I've implemented everything he said right away? Because I have paid hundreds of thousands of dollars to this man. Like, I'm going to do it because I'm invested. I'm getting the benefit of it. Yeah, he's getting paid, but I'm getting the transformation. I'm getting the results because I invested. Make sense? But if we just had coffee, I'd be like, oh, that was really brilliant what he said. I should probably think about that, but I probably won't. Not because I don't want to, but because I didn't pay anything for it, so my skin's not in the game. So when you have a premium fee for buyers who want results, not just info, right? They don't want more information, they want results, or they want speed. Like, you're selling speed, you're selling results, right? When you charge them a fee, a high ticket fee, they're more invested, they're going to get better results. If you've never done this before, or you're struggling, or you've got a high ticket offer, but it's not selling, then you should come to my 10K offer challenge. We're in the middle of the 10K offer challenge right now this week, so you've missed your chance to come to this one. But if you go to 10kofferchallenge.com, I'll link to it below. You can sign up for the next round that we're doing. All the details will be there. You get your ticket for the next time we do this. But you need to come to this event so you understand the psychology of premium prices. You understand what goes into an offer to make it irresistible. So you don't even have to really sell it. It sells itself because people are like, oh my gosh, they hear about it. Like, I need to have that. How do you enroll clients effortlessly? I call this effortless enrollment, meaning you don't have to do one-on-one sales calls. You don't have to have a sales team. You don't have to have a bunch of funnels with segmentation and all this marketing stuff. Very, very simple. And then we install your 10K offer into your business at the end of the challenge, or 5K or 20K or whatever price you choose. You'll pick the price. You'll build the offer all on the challenge, because there is homework, and we're going to do some of it in real time as well. But you need this to be able to start selling premiums. If you don't have your high ticket offers mapped out, or if they're not crushing, or they're taking you way too much work to sell, come to the 10K offer challenge. It's going to help you. But I really think that's going to be the strategy moving forward, is making sure you're building trust and then charging a premium for transformation with fewer people. And then the idea here is strategy is going to be more important than consistency, which is interesting, because I think consistency is key in anything in business, especially in online content. But it used to be, if you just were consistent, you'd win with content. And I wish that were true, because I've been preaching that forever, and it's been so good to me. But friend, consistency isn't enough anymore. Strategy matters more. And so what this means is you might be able to publish less than you're publishing now, but publish more powerfully. Like, really sit down and think through, what content am I making? Analyze your content, what's working and what's not. Analyze your closest competitors, even though I don't like that language, in your space. What of their content is working? What is it about it that's working? If you see a YouTube video pop off, it's probably because of the thumbnail title and the title itself and the thumbnail, right? That's telling you something about people wanting to click on it. So what can you learn from that, right? Spend time with analytics tools, Vid Analytics, or like vidIQ, or Morning Fame, or get on chat and figure out some of the patterns of what's working. But most importantly, think about what kind of content would attract the kind of person that would want your offer and you want to work with. Think about his or her deepest pain points. Speak to those. Think about his or her deepest dreams and desires and payoffs they want. Speak to those. Be honest. Be vulnerable. Don't be the guru from above. Be the guide on the ground with them, in the trenches with them, saying, this is the way. Follow me. Follow me. Let's go this way. Let's take new ground over here. Have a better strategy. That's going to pay off more than just publishing all the time. So if you're publishing 3-4 times a week, like I used to when I started, I don't think you need to do that anymore. I just think you need to get more strategic about your content. All right. So What does this mean for you and me today? Let's wrap this up. Stop chasing reach. Start curating relationship. Relationship over reach. Relationship over reach. You do not have to jump on calls with people. You do not have to be in your comments or your DMs all day. I'm not saying that. I'm just saying, think of it more as, can I cultivate a small, loyal tribe that will pay a premium to be in my world? If you had 10 $10,000 clients a year, you make $100,000, right? If you have 100 $10,000 clients, you make $1 million a year. How do you do 100 clients, Graham? Put them in a group coaching program. Don't coach them one-on-one. Put them in the most epic group coaching program where you have the same number of calls every month, whether you have 1 or 100. You have incredible curriculum that walks them through your method. You've got community. Just make it the most epic group coaching program. Charge $10K a pop, get 100 people in there. You're $1 million creator. Or maybe it's $5K a pop. Maybe it's $3K a pop at the bare minimum. But like, think about what you could do. In your niche, you can charge a $10,000 offer. I guarantee it. Maybe it's one-on-one for you. Maybe it's a group coaching. But have premium offers where you have a relationship with a smaller group of people and serve them powerfully. You'll get great testimonials. You get great transformation. You'll sleep well good at night knowing you're actually helping people. And it's less client chasing. It's less work on the, like, no one's going to know who you are publicly. You're not going to have the biggest channel, but you'll be sleeping great knowing you're printing money and serving people. And isn't that the goal? So stop chasing reach, curate relationship, focus on creating offers, not just content. This is huge. For some of you need to hear this. You're just trying to figure out the content game. Like, what can I do to get my video to pop off on YouTube right now or get more reach on Instagram? What I was doing isn't working. You're asking the wrong question. You already have an audience. You already have a customer base, probably. You probably need to think of what are some better offers I can make to those people. It's probably your offers. It's probably not your content. It's probably your offers. Make a better offer first. Then as your content gets better, you'll have more people to see that really good offer. 3 things to leverage moving forward is going to be high ticket offers, premium communities, or done with you services. It could also be done for you, but I really think there's a limit there. But I do think premium pricing, premium communities, and more done with you, more of like guiding, getting your hands a little bit more dirty. Back in the day, I could literally like not interact with a person and money would come in. That is still possible. I just think the way to scale is going to involve a little bit more of getting your hands dirty than it did 10 years ago. But the way I teach it, the way I do it, you don't have to do one-on-one if you don't want to. And then again, position your free content as a preview, not the product. And what I mean by this is tell your people about your coaching offers, about your premium offers, about the things you do with your clients, your paid stuff. Tell your people about your paid stuff all the time in your free content. That way they know, oh, this isn't his paid stuff. This is like Myron calls it community service content. He's doing us a favor by even putting this out there. It was my practice for a solid 12 years, maybe longer, to never even mention that I had anything for sale. I would just talk, I would teach on YouTube and offer a free guide or a free lead magnet. I never mentioned anything for sale. I didn't sell publicly. I still don't really sell publicly, actually, but I didn't mention anything for sale. So people would jump on my email list, and that would be the first time they would hear about an offer. And it worked. But that's actually going to hurt you these days compared to in the early days. That actually helped you because people were skeptical of online teachers. So you didn't sell anything online publicly. You just invited them into your free stuff, and then you said, hey, if you want to go deeper, I do have paid stuff, and you did that through your funnel. These days, if you don't tell them you have paid stuff, they'll never know. And they'll just binge your free stuff and they'll move on to someone else who says they have paid stuff. They might like your content, but they might hire her coaching for coaching programs. Like, that's the worst. If they don't know you have an offer to sell them, then how could they take you up on that offer? So you got to talk about your offers. You got to mention your offers. You see me doing this. I seed in this content that I have clients, that my VIP day is now $250,000. I raise my prices. Right? I talk about my inner circle, my group coaching program. So you seed it in your content so that they know it exists, and then don't hide it, right? So your free content's the preview, but it's not the product. You realize this is good, but I got better stuff. And I think the key takeaway for you and for me is you don't need millions of views. You never have, by the way. But moving forward, you got to stop even chasing millions of views. That's what's killing you. Instead, acknowledge the fact that you're probably not going to get millions of views. You might, and I hope you do, but don't assume you will. Don't try for it. Assume the views are going to go down. Let me give you a scenario. Imagine your traffic is going to plummet 50% in the next 12 months. What are you going to do differently in your business to ensure that you not only stay the same in your income, but you actually 2x your income? What would you do if I told you you had to 2x your income with half the traffic and you had 12 months to make any change you needed? What would you do? That's what you got to do. That's what you got to do. I hope your traffic doesn't go down by half. But that's how you got to think, because you need to optimize differently and you need to position your brand differently. And you might need to throw out your offers and make new ones. You might need to increase your prices. You might need to change the way you sell. It might be all of it, but something's got to change. Again, if you need help thinking through, how do I create an irresistible offer, especially one that's $5, $10, $20, $50, $100,000? You need to get a ticket. Come to my 5-day 10K offer challenge. It's not free. It's paid. It's not expensive, but it will blow your mind. And it's going to set you up on the right. It's going to show you what you're doing wrong with your offers right now. And it's going to show you a better way to sell high ticket offers, or any offer for that matter. But you need a better offer. Come to the challenge, and not only come and learn, but watch what I'm doing in the challenge, right? Like let's go meta. Like I'm trying to help you here. Buy a ticket, come to the challenge, learn what I'm teaching you, and watch what I'm doing in the challenge and see if it can't help you in your business. All right, I'm going to link to all that below, but just go to 10kofferchallenge.com so you can get a ticket to the next one we do. Again, we're in the middle of one right now, so you've missed your chance for this challenge, but there's another one coming up, and the details and the dates are there coming up soon, so get your ticket for that. Can't wait to see you there. Thanks for tuning in. I hope this was helpful to you. If so, leave me a comment. Let me know that it was helpful. I want to know what part of this resonated with you, if you have felt stuck in your business as well, if you've resonated with what my clients are experiencing, what a lot of people are experiencing. Let me know. That way I know this landed for you. All right. I'll see you on next week's episode.